The mid to late 70s were a hugely successful time for the band Kiss. They were literally the biggest band in the United States, according to a poll conducted by Gallup. By the end of the decade, though, infighting led to the departure of the group's guitarist Ace Frehley and drummer Peter Criss a few years later. Ace Frehley would be replaced by Vinnie Vincent, while Criss would be replaced by Eric Carr. Fast forward a few years later to September of 1983, and one of the biggest moments in Kiss history took place on television. The band removed their makeup and showed off their real faces. Kiss was going through a career lull with lineup changes and a series of more disco and pop-influenced records, having upset some of their longtime fans. It was during the early 80s a fledgling TV network sprouted up called MTV that played music videos, and Kiss was soon being replaced by other musicians who wore makeup, including Duran and Boy George on MTV. While the band's 1982 album Creatures of the Night was a return to their hard rock sound, it failed to galvanize their career, only going gold. Where could Kiss go next? Bassist Gene Simmons would reveal in his book how guitarist and co-vocalist Paul Stanley came up with the idea that they needed to do something drastic for their 11th studio release, Lick It Up, saying, "Let's prove something to the fans," Paul said. "Let's go and be a real band without makeup." I reluctantly agreed. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I heard what Paul was saying. There was nowhere else for us to go. We did a photo session just to see what it would look like. We looked straight into the camera lens. We were defiant. I made one small concession to the fans. I stuck out my tongue to try to keep something that connected us with the past, he'd say. Kiss would make their unmasked debut appearance on MTV. What's so ironic is that unlike the band's stage shows, this moment on MTV was not flashy or outrageous. There was no live audience, and the whole thing with host JJ Jackson felt a bit underwhelming. The unveiling wouldn't happen on MTV until late at night, and it's also important to note that MTV was pretty new and still establishing itself at the time. One MTV VJ who witnessed the scene recalled her memories, telling Yahoo, "I remember jamming into the packed MTV control room to watch the unmasking. Everyone on the staff grew up for the most part in the 70s, and Kiss was in our rock and roll DNA. It's hard to remember now, but the reveal of what the guys in Kiss looked like under their makeup was historic. It's funny, the production was so bare bones, you can really see the low budget early MTV in many ways. The MTV that today is so missed," she'd say. This wasn't the first time Kiss was without makeup though, as the band had done it several times in the 70s. Here's a snippet of the interview on MTV.
We are going to see Kiss without their makeup for the very first time. Vinnie Vincent, lead guitarist and co-writer of many of the songs on the current Kiss album. Drummer, has been with the band since 1979. Paul Stanley, rhythm guitarist and lead vocalist. Paul is a co-founder of the group. Gene Simmons, bass, also co-founder of Kiss. He is the fire-breathing, blood-spitting monster of Kiss. Welcome, you guys. This is amazing. Whoa. Now, why did you decide after all this time? Because I think a lot of people thought you may have done that a few years back.
I mean, we could give you all kinds of great answers, that we went and saw Swami. We did that too.
There's really no other reason. This is our 18th record, 10 years on. We feel great, and it's just time.
I mean, taking the makeup off doesn't change how we feel. I mean, we're the same people.
And we've always contended that the makeup is just an extension of our personalities. We really are who we seem, and the makeup is...
The move proved to be a success as Kiss saw a resurgence in their career, and following the success of Lick It Up, Kiss went on to release several more successful albums until 1996, when they reunited with members Peter Criss and Ace Frehley for a successful reunion tour. I've done a whole video on that ill-fated reunion, the link is down below. Meanwhile, MTV VJ Martha Quinn looked back at that moment, telling Yahoo, "At the time I felt like it was the guys in Kiss, very astute businessmen, wanting to keep step with the times, with the bands they were seeing on MTV, like Van Halen, Def Leppard, and Rat. These bands were all embracing the big rock sound that Kiss specialized in, all while looking like glam but gritty rockers. Maybe Paul and Gene wanted to shed the Star Child and Demon to show that they could play that game too, or maybe they just wanted to be recognized by their fans more often," she would say. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.